Hello, this is Linda West. I'm home. So, heavy heart, missing everybody already that I got close to so quickly. A lot of people want to know, so how was the team? And awesome. Some of the most awesome people I've ever had the chance to meet on the planet, to be perfectly honest. I mean, obviously, Alex Jones is a star. He is a force in himself, like the fifth element or something, in his intention to get out the news, and his vast years of experience and his energy. And I mean, he's amazing. But what you often don't see or hear about is the team behind that are just amazingly, amazingly talented and awesome, awesome people. I mean, they touch my heart. Like, each and every one of them in their own way, I got to know and completely love as like a friend for life. And I could cry. Okay, don't do that. But because it was such an awesome experience. So, and I'm so proud to be part of that team of extremely talented, gifted, and dedicated people. And I had one of those experiences when I was there. It was one of those pivotal moments where it all clicks in your head. And, you know, so often I've done the news and people have been like, Linda, just go back to talking about high-frequency things and good things in life, and stop fighting and bringing up all the fearful things. And I've so been feeling like I had to tell the news because it's happening, and it is happening. And then something struck me, and it was a story I did on Iceland. And I realized that maybe this was the grail I'd been searching for. Maybe this was the solution to the slow boiling frogs that we've all become. And it's Iceland. Because right now we're like Argentina, right? And please, if you don't know the story of Argentina and how they were very much a rise to a superpower, just like us, even more so, and the people had ownership in the gas, and the people were abundant, and they were just flourishing. And then they started getting robbed at the top by the politicians and by the same bankers that take all the money, and it wiped them out. It killed them, and it killed the people, and you got to see what happened. And they killed their money system and left them in such a hyperinflated state that they were starving. And that's what they're doing. That's what's happening. And I'm not saying that to bring it up. I'm just saying QE3 printing $85 billion a month with no end and stop. I mean, it doesn't take an economics master's degree to figure out that that's going to kill the dollar and put us into hyperinflation, where already people are hurting so bad. And it just all looked like this big, gloomy thing with no way to stop it. And then I did the story on Iceland, and we don't hear about it. And please reference it over at Alex Jones's channel, because they put up all the graphics, and I go into the story more completely. But it may be my mission to show up and just talk about Iceland for a long time, because Iceland has the solution. They did it. They did everything opposite of what everybody else did. Everybody else laid it on the people, laid the debt on the people, on the backs of the people and the children's future. They took away pensions, all these austerities. Oh, work longer. Oh, less medical benefits. Oh, your children, they can't go to college. Oops, sorry about that. They ruined their lives trying to pay back this debt that was a false debt, that wasn't their debt to begin with. And in Iceland, they just said, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to take care of the people. And they said no to the banks. We're not paying you back. They forgave the debt of 1/4 of their population. 1/4 of their population, they just said, nope, okay, forget about the debt. You're under too hard. You'll never survive. You'll never make it. totally gone. And with the mortgages, it was the same thing. Everybody that was under 110% underwater, they forgave that amount too. And you know what happened? The people thrived. Now, 4 years later, Iceland's doing great. They threatened them like they threatened us. Oh, you're going to go down, the whole thing. It's going to be a depression you'll never recover from. No, printing $85 billion a month is the depression that we'll never recover from. It is the nail on the coffin head. I mean, the drones in the skies, the TSA, as like, oh my God, Melissa Melton, so beautiful, so beautiful. I love you, Melissa, and so funny. And when she was with John Bond, who I lovingly refer to as Bond, that's what all the commenters called him, Bond. We're talking with Alex Jones about the ever-expanding TSA. She was like, you know, why don't they just come and set it up on my porch so when I walk out the front door, we can just get it over with? Because this is a police state. It's expanding, and the water temperature is going up and up, and nobody has suggested just jumping out. And so I have to suggest that now after we let Iceland, a much smaller country, be our beta test, and it worked. Their GDP has gone up. They're flourishing. They're doing better than the EU. At first, they tried to get into the EU because they thought they would need help. And then they realized, no, we're just going to forgive all this debt and take care of the people. And now they don't want to have anything to do with the EU because the EU is going down. But most of the developing countries aren't doing as well as Iceland. And these people don't have debt. And their kids don't have debt. And they're doing better. So we know it works. Not one person had to get killed. They threw rocks. They just said no. They rewrote their constitution on the internet with people that weren't politicians. And then they jailed all the bankers, the 3 top CEOs of the top banks that they owed debt to, supposedly, that was a big fat lie, like ours is a big fat lie. They jailed them instead of paying them back. And then they also indicted their prime minister for being in collusion with them. Or coercion, sorry, I'm not sure right now, Miss English major. Either way. We don't have to let this happen. We don't have to have a revolution and let anybody die. We can just be Iceland. We can just take our power back, folks, and say this isn't our debt. We're not going to pay it. My grandpa's not going to pay it. My kids aren't going to pay it. My grandkids aren't going to pay it. We're jumping out of the kettle, and we're freeing ourselves. Let's take care of the people and tell the bankers to go take a hike. And any politician or anybody that tries to impose any more of this false debt on us, let's jail them too. And if after this video you don't see me, somebody come look for me. No, because I'm going to show up every day and remind you that we have the solution. And it's Iceland. It's Iceland.